a notification that says you're the host. Are you able to now record?
Yep, I just hit record.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we're just gonna roll with this here. I'm gonna put my stuff. Sorry guys, I'm normally not this scattered. I gotta get my tripod so I don't have to hold my phone. All right. Those of you watching the recording, thanks for hanging in here while we figure out live. And the dog's probably gonna bark, so just know that. Okay, so we are actually gonna start out by just doing really quick introductions of the people who consider themselves newbies. And I guess even if you're not a newbie and you're just here supporting your own coaches, let's just go around and say your name, where you're from, how long you've been coaching, and what is one dream you have regarding your coaching business. So I'll just do a quick round the circle. Just unmute yourself, your name, where you're from, and one dream you have.
I'll go first. That's not like me. My name is Katie. I live in Cottage Grove, which is a suburb of St. Paul. I have been a discount coach for a really, really long time, and I wanted to be a real coach. I'm trying it. What was the last thing? One thing. I guess I want to get to a point where I don't second guess what I just say. Like, just go with my first thought to whoever I'm talking to. I don't like sit there and like think about it and go to something else and think about it. Like, I think too much about what I'm typing. Mute!
Hi, my name's Felicia. I'm from Benton County, Indiana. It's really small. I'm surrounded by cornfields and windmills. I joined just recently, actually last week, so I'm very new. Well, I have been part of Beachbody for a year, but I joined as a coach last.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I live in Cottage Grove, Minnesota, and yeah. And I've been coaching really short time, 2 months. Really, like the last month, I've really jumped in and gotten comfortable with it. And my dream, I guess, just being more confident in myself. I really feel like within the last week, I've become a little bit more like getting more good with having conversations. A lot of mine, I'm better at being in person. So it's hard for me to do like messages and stuff. So I want to learn how to be better at that. But I'm more of in person. Like I like having that conversation in person, and nice that I can go into work and talk to people, like my friends and stuff. And I'm sorry, my 1-year-old is going to be jumping all over me.
Kelly just wrapped up freaking fabulous July with SC10, like in, I don't know, the last week. Pretty much. Yeah.
Thanks, Brittany.
No, good job. Great job. I've been a coach for about, I'm going to say 2 years. I don't even know right now. And I'm just really excited to see where it takes me. I mean, the last 2 years have been super fun, and it's kind of crazy to see where I am today. So I'm just excited to see where it goes in the future.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Oster, and I live in northwestern South Dakota. So I live in the middle of nowhere. I teach, and I have 3 boys, and so we have a 45-minute commute to school in the mornings. So we're really in the middle of nowhere. So I have been a discount coach for like 2 years, and after having 2 kids, I just really wanted to pursue this whole coaching thing, and I just felt like God's been putting it on my heart. So I decided that I'm just going to go all in and try it out. And my goal or dream would be just to be able to help my family make enough that maybe I could just be a stay-at-home mom and ranch wife. That's what I would love to do. But for right now, I just would like to get more comfortable and confident and learn everything I can about this coaching business and see where it takes me. So I'm happy to be here.
Hey everybody. Sorry, I have my fiance watching the Umbrella Academy right next to me, and we have a very small apartment, so there's not many places to go right now. But I have been a coach for about 2 months here, using the discount for a year, and my biggest goal in doing this is to retire my fiance from working and then have a couple business centers, so when we have babies in the next few years, who knows, he'll hopefully be able to stay home. But also, I just love the community building aspect of this and seeing the light come on when ladies get to the end of a challenge or even just join, and they're amazed at what they're able to do, because it's the same thing that I went through and experienced myself, of being able to rewrite some of those limiting beliefs. So that's really why I'm here, just to help women release pressures, because there are too many to deal with anyway.
Macy, did you go? Did I miss you?
I hopped on late, so I got on when Brittany was talking, so I guess I don't know what we're doing.
Oh, we're just introducing ourselves, where you're from, and what dream you have regarding coaching.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Macy, not Chris, as it pops up, because this, I guess, is signed under my husband's computer. But I'm Macy. I live in Nebraska. I'm a recent college graduate, so I'm on a super big high right now. Started coaching in 2017. I'm Emerald. Kind of already forgot what Andrea said we're supposed to be doing, but I am here because I have a very busy schedule and I want to have a lot of babies someday. So I would like to be, oh gosh, cat. I would like to be able to be a stay-at-home mom and be able to make my own schedule and live in yoga pants and sell all of my high heels and pencil skirts and just be able to be home and be with my babies. And yeah, that's why I'm here.
Okay, so in my chaos of trying to get my laptop to work, I keep looking down because I'm looking for my notes, which I know exactly where they are on my phone, but on my laptop they're in a different spot. So, oh, I found it. Okay, good, perfect timing. Okay, so thank you for bearing with me. I just want to maybe start with you don't need to know all the answers. You don't need to have perfectly curated slides and just be super duper organized to be successful. I just was a hot mess express for the last 10 minutes and you guys hung in there and I appreciate that. I'm gonna fly through a lot of content, so please have pen and paper handy to just jot some notes, but also when something comes up and it makes you think of a question, I want to answer your questions. The benefit of being on this call live is that you get to have the Q&A. There are some more veteran coaches on here and not just me, so they may have a different perspective on your question and give you maybe a different angle to look at it. So there are no dumb questions. We are here to support each other. There also are no rules with coaching. So I'm going to give you some suggestions, but there's no rule book that says you have to build your business a certain way. We're just going to share, or I'm just going to share the things that have worked for me, because when I first started coaching, my husband had 2 rules for me. He's like, that's fine. I give you my blessing, but you can't be the crazy lady on Facebook who sells stuff all the time. And you have 6 months to just do your thing, and then we'll reevaluate if this is something that is something worthwhile. And at that 6-month mark is when we sat down and had the conversation of me actually leaving the classroom and doing this full time. So please know that if you have a tug at your heart to do something with this that's big, that it's possible and probable, especially if you have that inside of you, that means that you're meant to do something big if you have that tug. And it's completely doable with hard work and consistency, but we'll get to that in a second. Really quickly, just want to explain the cover photo of our Self Love Dynasty page, or of whatever team page you're on. If they ever have shout outs for Success Club, or the number in front of the Success Club, which is your volume, that simply is a reflection of the people that you are signing up and helping out. You get 2 points, 2 Success Club points for every challenge pack that you sell to somebody, whether they're signing up as a customer or a coach. And we call it hitting Success Club when you have at least 5 of those points. And that's just simply our benchmark goal every single month, is to help at least 3 people, 3 new people every single month. That's doable, right? Just find 3 people that are ready to make a change, and you set them up with the total package, which is a challenge pack. They get the workouts, they get nutrition, they get either Shakeology or Energize and Recover, and they get you, which is the best part of it. They're not just buying products, they're buying into a community, which is what Cami was talking about. It is the best part, the secret sauce, the thing that is going to help them stay on track and consistent, which is why coaching is my favorite. So that's just kind of not really a housekeeping thing, but when you see those leaderboards, that's what they're reflecting, is what that girl did in the previous month. So let's talk about the building blocks of being super successful and loving this job. Okay. All right. Number 1 is social media consistency. Okay. So I could probably talk for an hour on this topic alone. So I'm going to try to keep it short, but I can't tell you enough. Let's just think of an example. So let's say you're looking, rewind back. Okay. You are looking for somebody to help you reach your health and fitness goals. Okay. Now, you don't know anybody in your real life that is a Beachbody coach. Okay. But you're on your social media and you have Sally Sue and you have Betty Joe, and Sally Sue has been posting every day, almost to the point where you're kind of annoyed with Sally Sue because she loves her job, and you can tell she's always talking about her nutrition and her workouts, and she's loving life, and all these people's lives are changing because of her accountability group. And then Betty Joe over here, she's also a coach, and she will post for a week, and then for 2 weeks she doesn't post anything, and then maybe for 3 more days she'll start posting again. Which one are you going to sign up with when you finally draw that line in the sand? You're going to sign up with the girl that kind of rubbed you the wrong way, but you know what? She rubbed you the wrong way because you knew you needed it and you weren't ready to really just bite the bullet and do the workouts, you know? So be a shining beacon of light. Now, I said that I don't like helping you be spammy and gross and the icky lady on Facebook that's trying to sell stuff all the time. That was my one rule with my husband. So I'm not telling you to post Beachbody products. I'm not telling you to have you and your Shakeology cup and you're kissing it and like, oh, I just love my Shakeology. No, what I'm telling you to do is to constantly be present in other people's scroll. Like, oh, there's that girl who's always happy. There's that girl whose life has changed because she works out in her living room. Oh, there's that girl who inspires me to reach for more in my life. Oh, there's that girl who, she happens to like pickles and she talks about pickles every once in a while, which is kind of random and fun, and we'll get to like the whole pickles thing later, but just show up consistently. I cannot, like, I wish I could reach through my phone and shake you like, this is it. If you are patient and consistent, you will build trust with people They will see you as somebody who isn't going to quit on this, who isn't half in, half out. The people that post for a week and then ghost for 2 weeks, they're half in, half out. And that's fine, but that's going to probably be more of a hobby for them, and it's going to pay them like a hobby. And if you guys are really wanting to make a business of this and have people take you super, super seriously and want to come into your groups when they're finally at that breaking point, you have to be consistent and build that trust with people. Because if you show up every day, they're going to think, okay, if I sign up for her group, she's going to show up for me. You know, that is the trust that you're building. It's a very vulnerable thing to reach out to somebody, especially if they're a stranger on the internet, and be like, hey, can you tell me more about this group that you keep talking about? Those are the best messages. I get chills on my body right now because 5 years in, I still get excited when somebody reaches out to me and is like, okay, I'm finally ready. I've been watching you for 3 years. Let's do this. And you guys, I've had people who have taken 4 years watching me, and they admit it to me. They're like, I've literally been stalking you for 4 years. Don't you want to get to the point 5 years from now and have those messages and be like, I'm so glad I didn't give up because Jane just messaged me and she's ready. And it took her 4 years to be able to believe in herself that she can do this too. I literally, my whole body is like tingling with goosebumps because that is what we have as an opportunity to do as coaches, is to inspire people to believe in themselves. So please be consistent. It will be the magic mojo sauce of your business. And patience with that. Speaking of what to post on social media, be vulnerable. This doesn't mean to air out your dirty laundry. This means things that you have encountered, dealt with, overcome, and come out the other side to be able to say something positive at the end. Share those things. That might be that moment that you decided to message your coach where you were standing in your closet. This is my own personal story, standing in my closet, and like half of my clothes were dirty and they were the only clothes that fit me at the time. And so there I was, knowing I had to get dressed and go to work, and I didn't have anything that I fit into because my body had changed from having a baby. And like, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so that's when I decided to start working out finally. But talk about things, and they don't have to be health and fitness related. Talk about things that are going to build that trust and community with other people, as long as it's not like just all sadness and negative. Like, you have to be able to spin it to win it at the end. But that doesn't have to be all the time. I don't think anyone needs to be writing 7-paragraph posts every single day of their life. Like, you still need to post the fun stuff. You still need to be a human. You still need to, well, let's talk about that right now. So back to the pickles. I really think each of you are uniquely created and made and gifted, and you have all of those unique things about you. You need to talk about them. Maybe you are obsessed with pickles. You know what? You're going to find other people that love pickles just as much as you, and you're going to share pickle recipes, and you're going to have pickle memes, and you're going to connect with those people, and they're going to be your people. And they're going to also see that you host accountability groups, but you've already built this trust over pickles. They're like, this girl is so cool. I want to do what she's doing. So think of 5 things that make you you. Okay. And only one of them is allowed to be health and fitness related. Okay. The other one can be like business owner, even though that's kind of under the same umbrella. But if you're really wanting to push a business, I think one of your pillars should be the fact that you are an entrepreneur. Okay. But then the other 3, they get to be just completely unique and personally related to your personality and your life. Okay. And one of them can literally be pickles. There's a coach, I always mention this at this point in the call, that there's a coach that is so obsessed with peanut butter, and she has thousands of followers that follow her because of her peanut butter recipes, because she's always sharing them. Okay. Build community around the things that you love so that sharing never feels like a chore, because you get to talk about your favorite things. Okay. So everybody needs to have those 5 pillars. With your social media, taking pictures. Who here feels super 100% all the time confident about taking pictures? Few of us. Okay. Couple of pointers. Always face a window. So right now I'm not facing a window. I'm in really poor lighting actually. But if I walk over to my front door, notice how my face is a totally different color. I'm no longer yellow. It's the natural light. I'm actually hooked up to a ring light right now. So I could also, if it's nighttime, I can turn on my ring light. Also completely changes the color of everything. Okay, but over here on my couch, I'm not by an outlet, so that's why I don't got it on. This ring light, $60 on Amazon. I use it for all of my workouts, a lot of videos, and sometimes pictures if I don't have any natural light to go with. Oh, Cami, really good tip. The Lightroom app is an amazing app for changing the lighting, and you can even buy filter packages within that app, not within the app, on other websites, Etsy, Pinterest. And you can just brighten up your filters. Lighting, that sentence didn't make sense. But anyways, lighting is also super important after you take the picture. So find a filter you like, you can get presets. And if you want more info on that, you can DM me and I can give you some specific links. But the point of all of that is to make your picture scroll stopping. So that doesn't mean that you need to be dressed to the nines and like sucking in your stomach and posing the right way. It's just a bright, eye engaging image, like looking directly into the camera. Sometimes I over smile or I'm literally laughing out loud by myself in my living room to get a genuine like, oh my gosh, she looks so happy. What is she going to talk about type of picture? Just so people are like, what's she going to say? And if you're posting every day and it's stuff that's educating or entertaining, people are going to want to read your content and you're going to get a following. So this all takes time. So keep posting, even if you get 2 likes, 1 comment, like it is all good. Okay.
Andrea, can I jump in here? I have a question for you.
Yes.
How much priority do you put on posting based on your audience's involvement rates? So like when you have your profile set up, you can see if they're on at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. and you'll see how much priority do you put on that?
That is a really good question. I used to care a lot more. And I would only post at high traffic times, which for me is after 7 p.m. And then after following a girl named Angie Lee on Instagram, who is a marketing genius, she's like, the algorithms don't matter. If you are serving your people, she's like, you guys, I post whenever the flip I want to. If you look at her news feed picture, like there's not a cohesive look to it. She literally shares what's on her heart whenever it comes to her. Like, she's like, you will go cross-eyed trying to follow how the Instagram algorithm is changing, Facebook algorithm. It is constantly changing and you're chasing the wrong thing. If you have 2 followers, you serve them like they're your top paying customers. You figure out what your customers, what your followers want to hear. You survey them. You put little polls on your Instagram, like, what do you guys want to hear more of? And you serve them like crazy because they are going to then share your content. The goal is to have stuff that people are like, this is gold. I need to share this with people so that they spread the word for you. That is it's not a fast way of growing, but it's organic and it's genuine. And it feels really good when people share your stuff, because then you know you're impacting somebody's life and they want to then impact somebody's life with it. Somebody else may have a completely different opinion on that. Brittany, do you have? Oh, she's not in her chair. But that's just how I've been doing it lately, is not really caring what time I post. But other coaches may have a different opinion on that. Okay, and then this is I am like flying through this content. I really hope there's some questions at the end, but I want to hit home something that I know a lot of you have personal experience with and have felt the impact of it and know how valuable it is. And I'm thinking of Katie specifically, personal development and words of affirmation, and figuring out how you can, like so many of you said, like one of your goals is to just be confident and to not overthink stuff and to show up on social media with this just knowing in your soul and belief that you truly matter and that what you say matters and it's going to impact somebody else. That happens not by just wishing and hoping. It actually is another piece of the puzzle, and part of the work is listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks, reading books, but you have to reprogram the negativity tapes that we all have playing in here. You guys, I'm still battling them. I'm 5 years in of constantly doing personal development, reading new books, hearing new content, and it's still a battle. It's still up there of, who do you think you are? You live in a town of 1,000 people. Who do you think you are to think that you can lead an enormous team? It is, you all know. So when I say it's bananas, it's not really bananas to you, because we all fight those demons. But honestly, you guys, the times where I like look that girl in the face, my inner mean girl, and I'm like, F you, I'm going to crush this. Then, I kid you not, I will have 2 people out of the blue message me when I change that energy inside of me. Like, hey, I want to join your group. And I'm just like, what? It sounds like woo-woo voodoo magic. It is not. I've experienced it way too many times for it to be a coincidence, but get out of your own way. We, with those self-limiting beliefs, will completely block success and positive things coming from us because we're constantly focused on, oh, I'm not enough. Oh, I just don't know what she's going to think if I send this invite. And that's going to come through in your conversations, in your content that you're writing. You guys, you have to pump yourselves up. You have to find a book that speaks to you. If you pick up a personal development book and it's like, it's not my jam, it's not really speaking to me, put it down and find a new one, because you want to find a book that when you read 5 pages of it, you're like, I feel like I can conquer the world. Like, I'm going to write a post about this. This is amazing. That is where you're going to unlock your like magic and a confidence that's going to be magnetic to other people that want to be around you. So along with the consistency, this is probably right up there with it. Number 2 is personal development and not skipping it. Doing 10 minutes a day, literally 10 minutes can totally change your life. I do feel like there are some books that you have to work up to that I don't think you should start with, because they're like, you'd read them and be like, this is a bunch of craziness. One of those being The Universe Has Your Back is definitely one that I would have like thrown into a closet if I would have read it my first year. Because it was even hard for me to read 5 years in, after reading dozens of books. If you need suggestions, please ask. I would say my top ones to start with would be The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Rachel Hollis's books are good, but I would start there. And if you've read all of those and you need another one, send me a message. Those of you that have read personal development, what are your top 2? And they can't be one that I mentioned, just so people have more choices to go with. Share your top 2, unmute yourself.
My favorite is The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. And I'm 50 pages into Untamed by Glennon Doyle, and I was a Rachel Hollis fan, and it has like crushed that and taken it to the next level. Where I'm like, I love, yes, I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. So, oh, yes, that one.
One of my favorite ones that you haven't mentioned yet is Own Your Everyday by Jordan Lee Dooley. It was just a really easy read, and it just, I don't know, resonated with me, like being a Christian woman myself, and then how everything that she was saying, I was like, oh, yep, I think that, yep, I think that, yep. So I just really liked that one.
That's a really good one too.
I like Everything is Figureoutable by Marie Forleo. I could listen to that all day, and the fact that if an author will narrate their own audiobook, I'm all over that too, because I think it just adds that extra level. And then The Miracle Morning. It took me a long time to become a morning workout person, but once I read that, and I'm actually going to listen to that again, because being in the Dash to Diamond group, I really need to make more of my mornings. So I'm going to re-listen to that, and I have to throw in Be Obsessed or Be Average, because Grant Cardone is like my old man crush, and I think his voice is super sexy. So I highly suggest that you listen to him too.
Great. So Candace and I also love Grant Cardone. Brittany does not like Grant Cardone. And that is just another reminder that if it's not speaking to you, don't listen to it. Grant Cardone is somebody that I listen to when I need, I wasn't in sports, but I imagine like sitting on the bench and having your coach like ream you a new one and just like get in your face. Like, that's Grant Cardone. He will fire you up.
And he's incredibly full of himself too, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we'd be friends in real life, because I'd be like, oh gosh, but he does really light a fire to get you, kind of like Sell It Like Sirhan. I think you suggested that one too.
Yeah.
He'd be more of a person I'd be friends with in real life, but they both light big fires under you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say Miracle Morning, but another one that I really like is The Greatest You, Trent Shelton. He actually has a really good podcast. I like his podcast more than his books.
Yes.
That book was really good too.
I love his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And podcasts are free, you guys. Like, you can listen to them when you're cleaning, doing the dishes, driving to work. Like, just throw your earbuds in. It's totally free. Highly, highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Brittany, what is your favorite personal development book?
Ooh, I would say The Compound Effect and You Are a Badass are probably like my first like beginner ones. And like you said, it so depends on like where you're at and what you're ready for. Because I did start Grant Cardone's like 10X rule, I think maybe last summer. I'm like, nope, not having it. I have since listened to it, and it was like just a better time to hear what he had to say. I also really like The Universe Has Your Back and Super Attractor, but I don't think if they would have started with them, I would have been ready for it.
Agreed. Totally agreed. Okay, does anyone have any random questions? And they can be literally about anything related to coaching, how to send an order link, how to invite, like what are your big burning questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
'Cause I'm better in person. Like, what is the best way to do like message? Like, I always feel like I have more to say, and like and it's been fine, but I'll type it up and I'm like, oh, that's too much like word vomit, you know? So just trying to be better with that. So what are some tips with that?
Okay. So I'm going to answer your question, but also Cammie's at the same time in the chat. She was just talking about authentic invitations. So first of all, I want to say that I personally don't think cold messaging is authentic. I think it's icky and salesy and spammy, and we've all been a victim to it, where somebody who is selling something just out of the blue messages you and is like, hey, I have this jewelry line and I think these would look really good on you. Do you want to be added to my group, or we're doing this sale, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, thanks for asking, but no. Or when they just randomly add you to a group that you didn't ask to be in. Like all of these different tactics that other companies use to grow their business, people are burnt out on them. And so we need to be that refreshing thing that's different. So to me, I always am having conversations with people that are engaging in my content. So that means they're liking something, they're commenting on something, or they're watching my Instagram stories. So that is where I'm spending all of my time, hanging out with people, building relationships. That doesn't always mean I'm inviting them. Sometimes I'm reacting to their Instagram stories, or I'm asking them where they got, like, questions that I would genuinely ask them. If I'm scrolling through and I'm like, those are really cute sunglasses, where did she get them? I will just type, where did you get your sunglasses? Just to build a friendship and a relationship. And maybe they click on my profile and come and see like, oh, I have a boot camp coming up, or I just talked about coaching, or whatever. But I don't always invite when I'm having those conversations. Sometimes it's just a, hey, I like your dress, or whatever. But when I am inviting, I'm still only inviting from that group of people that are engaging in my content. And for instance, if they're watching my stories and I'm doing a workout clip, I'll respond to the people that watched it and say, hey, have you ever thought about joining one of my groups? Send. Like, don't feel like you have to like say exactly what it is. Like, just say, have you ever thought about it? Or should I send you information on my next accountability group? Just say the question. I hate small talk. It makes me want to vomit. So I'm not like, hey, how's it going? How's your husband's job? Like, no, if you're watching my workout video, should I send you information on my next group? It starts next week. You know, they either A, say, no, thanks. B, they ghost you, which is terrible. That's like the worst. I hate that, because they see your message and you're like, I saw that you saw my question. All you have to say is no thanks. But you can't control people. Or they say, yeah, send me a little bit more. So that right there is maybe more of your question. Like, how do you have those conversations when they're like, yeah, what is it that you're doing? I always start, I'm going to really try to speed through this because I did spend a 45-minute call just on conversations. That's actually on my YouTube, so I can send it to you later if you want like the full breakdown. But you always start with questions. So I have the same 6 questions that I ask everyone, basically saying like, tell me about your nutrition. How is your workout routine right now? Have you tried losing weight in the past? What is your big reason why you would want to do this? Do you have access to stream videos? Just like 6 questions that I just literally copy paste and send over. Because then I have content and things to tie back when we are talking, so that I can pull on those pain points of their big reason why they want to make this change, and why joining the accountability group ties directly to solving that problem. So I try to have them talk more than I do. That's my goal. It doesn't always happen, because I also like to, I get excited when people are interested and want to change their life. And that fires me up and gets me all pumped up. So they answer those. I always voice message back. I rarely will type something, just because I want them to hear my voice and hear that I'm excited and I'm a real person and I'm not copy pasting anything. And so I will kind of give a few responses to their answers and talk about how the accountability group would fill that void of whatever that is. And then I give a really brief rundown of the group. I say, if you do decide to join, you're going to get access to 1,300 workouts for a whole year. You're going to get into my accountability group. You're going to get nutrition plans. You're going to get your choice of extras, whether that's a protein shake or a pre-workout, or there's just so many options. So at this point, what questions do you have for me? And then you throw it back on them. Their question is always, how much does it cost? And I'm like, well, it totally depends on which package you want. So let me send over an image where you can look at the options. And then Brittany is amazing at making these gorgeous images that lay out all of the different options. Ask her for them if you don't have them. And the only options really are the 3 challenge pack bundles. So there's the basic pack with just Shakeology or the performance line. Then there's the middle one with both of them. And then there's the mega super huge amazing pack that sometimes has a 3-day refresh in it and a workout mat and like all the things. And then I'm like, as soon as I send that image, I'm like, have you ever heard of Shakeology? Sorry, someone tried to call me. Have you ever heard of Shakeology? And then this is where I would copy paste, because the explanation of Shakeology doesn't change. So I have my like 3 paragraphs that I have about it. I send that over, and then we decide, okay, which one do you want? And then the last thing is, once they say, yes, I want this package, these are the flavors I want, here's my email, I say, hey, since we know this isn't an overnight fix, should we sign you up as a preferred customer? You get 25% off of your products. You pay a small fee, kind of like Amazon Prime. You can cancel whenever you want to. Should we do that? 95% of people say yes. So I create a coach link, I send it over, and after I send it, I say, hey, I sent you an email. Don't be alarmed when you see that you're signing up to be a coach. That's how you get the 25% discount. You don't have to do any coaching unless you want to change the lives of people you care about. We can talk about that later. Send. I've never had anyone ever be like, whoa, 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 I didn't want to be a coach. Like, that's the story that we put in our heads. Like, they're going to freak out if I send them a coach link. No, you're giving them a discount. You're giving them a deal. You're helping them save money. It's not like a scam. Like, you're literally helping them save money. So that's how I have conversations. That is like the super fast version.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? I'm a teacher, so I'm okay with wait times. I'm not a teacher anymore. Well, I'm always a teacher, but I haven't been a classroom teacher for a while. We good? How do you balance phone time and disconnect time? Oof, Cami, I don't. I suck at it. I have skills. That is not one of them. My brain is always on. I rarely like fully unplug. I mean, I'll put my phone in another room when I really need to just like stop, and I know I need to stop, and I've been going overboard, but it doesn't turn the brain off from ideas about writing a post or trying to remember that I need to message so-and-so back. That's just the way my type A doer brain works. And I'm trying to just learn to embrace it instead of feel shame and guilt around it all the time. And a friend of mine said, you know, I would just use that as an asset and think the smartest and most brilliant people in our world that made the biggest change always had their brain going, and just leave a notebook by you so that if you do have something that comes and you don't want to forget it, you just jot it down so that you can like try to be more present. But I am constantly working on trying to have disconnect time because I do think it's important.
Can I answer kind of that too?
Yes.
So I have this problem a lot, and my husband will be like, why are you always on your phone? So if I'm not giving him the amount of attention that our relationship needs, it's going to make our relationship unhappy.
And if I'm happy, then I'm not going to be able to help others. Or if I'm at a family gathering, I'm on my phone because I think that if I don't talk to this person or message them back, they're going to go find another coach. And they'll wait because they picked you. They're for a reason. So we need to focus a lot on our family and our self-care by putting down our phone, because if our family's not happy, they're going to make us unhappy. And if we're unhappy, then we can't help people. So that's how I manage knowing I need my time if I'm going to be able to help others during their time.
That is beautiful. And that actually really helps me. So I appreciate you sharing that. That's so true. Any other questions? There's no dumb questions. Got a few more minutes. All right, we will end the call. Brittany, if you would end the recording. I know you're staying up way past your bedtime to do this. I appreciate you.